Since Jake Ely was shot last month in Las Vegas where he lives, we've slowly been able to sort of piece together what happened through various articles and reports from when the incident first happened, and then through subsequent updates from Jake directly via the Red Dragon Cartel Facebook page. We're not going to go through every single update word by word, but to sort of sum it up for you before we get into Jake's newest update, Jake was out walking his dog in mid-October. I think it was October 15th or so. It was around 2:40 a.m., and there were people that were questioning why he was walking his dog so late. Then Jake eventually explained that he's a night owl, and the cooler temperatures are obviously better for the dog, even though he said in those early hours it can still be over 100 degrees. But anyways, he was out walking his dog Coco when he said that he crossed paths with a couple of thieves who I guess were checking out his neighbor's motorcycle, and then Jake apparently confronted them, and then Jake and the thieves, I guess, reached some sort of agreement that Jake was going to go one way, the thieves were going to walk another way. Obviously, that is not what happened. Jake ended up being shot, and apparently 15 shell casings were found at the scene by police, with Jake saying that means that the shooter emptied his clip on him. And then Jake added, quote, "I could only dodge so many, so one bullet went through my forearm, one through my foot, and one in the back, which broke a rib and damaged a lung." Jake also noted that he's been using a knee scooter at home. It's better than a walker for him. And then two other quick things to note about the shooting. One, it has been reported since the beginning that thankfully the dog Coco was unharmed. And two, it was reported that no arrests have been made, and I believe that to still be the case. So that's the quick recap to bring you up to speed on the details of the shooting, because yesterday, Thursday, Jake took to Red Dragon Cartel's Facebook page again to offer a little bit more insight on the exact details of both the situation itself as well as the injuries that he has sustained, where he said, "Hope everyone's enjoying their Thanksgiving. I've been debating on publicly talking about getting shot and have decided that it would probably be good for me. Somewhat therapeutic, and by documenting it, I can more easily put it behind me. And you might find parts of it interesting. At first, it seemed too daunting, but then I realized I can do it in parts like this. We were about 50 feet apart when I heard the shots. I quickly realized he wasn't aiming at me. He was aiming at my dog. I threw my end of the leash at Coco and yelled to go home. He did. He's a good boy. The first shot to hit me was in my left forearm. Entered about an inch below the elbow on the underside. Exited top side. It felt like a burn. Not particularly painful, just like a quick burning sensation. I thought it must have been a graze. Fortunately, it missed any bones and my elbow joint and has healed remarkably quickly. The scars aren't much bigger or darker than some of my age spots, and I'd probably have to point them out for you to notice. All the fingers still move well. Initially lost the feeling on the back of my hand, but it has slowly been coming back. In the spirit of giving thanks, I am most thankful my dog wasn't hurt, and also the damage to my fretting arm was minimal. Unlike the other wounds, which I'll get to in part 2. Don't really have pics of my arms, so you get another Coco pic. So it sounds like all things considered, he's doing okay, which is great to hear. It also kind of sounds though that maybe when part 2 comes out, he's going to talk about some injuries that are a little bit worse than what he talked about in this first part. So I guess we'll wait for that. But he has been home for a while now, at least a month or so at this point. And it also sounds like he can play guitar still, which is so great. He's such a great guitarist. My opinion, one of Ozzy's more underrated guitarists. But that's really where everything is at for now. We will, of course, discuss this more when he puts out part 2 of his statement. But that's all I got for you for right now. Thanks so much for hanging out. Feel free to drop a like and subscribe below if you feel like it, and I'll see you next time.